On this episode of Cape Media News, Dennis celebrates Older Americans Month, a recap of Dennis and Harwich annual town meetings, and the facts about the Federal Housing Finance Agency's new pricing adjustments. These stories and more tonight on Cape Media News. Good evening and welcome to Cape Media News, your source for hyperlocal news that matters. I'm Mitch Sock. The Harwich Conservation Trust and the Sampson Fund are hosting Walk and Wag, a free outdoor event celebrating dogs and nature next Saturday, May 13th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The event will feature a dog walk, pet-friendly exhibitors, and a canine obstacle course. Participants should park at Cape Cod Regional Technical High School and walk to the Hinckley's Pond Herring River Headwater Preserve. Mobility Challenge parking is available on Headwaters Drive and donations are welcome. You can also join the Monomoy All Sports Booster Club next Saturday for their 6th annual mattress fundraiser, featuring top brands at up to 50% off retail value. This one-day event located at Monomoy Regional High School supports talented student athletes and offers various sleep products including weighted blankets, luxury sheets, body massagers, and more. Be sure to show the Facebook event post for free sheets with any bed purchase or $50 off any set over $3.99. Don't miss out on this opportunity to improve your sleep and support a great cause. The month of May is Military Appreciation Month, and throughout the month, the Dennis Police Department will be selling specially designed patches to show appreciation and support, and to honor those in the military, both past and present. All proceeds from the sale of these patches will go to the Cape and Islands Veteran Outreach Center. Patches are $10 and can be purchased at the police station. If you would like a patch but are unable to come in, please email dennispatrolunion@gmail.com. Two special events are being held in Dennis this weekend that may have an effect on traffic. On Saturday, May 6th, starting at 10 a.m., the Dennis Chamber of Commerce will hold their 5K road race beginning and ending at Mayflower Beach. The race course includes Beach Street, Wigg Street, and Shore Drive, and there will be police officers on hand to direct traffic during the race. And on Sunday, May 7th, the Blessing of the Bikes event will be held at West Dennis Beach. The event starts at noon, but the public parking lot will be closed at 9 a.m. to anyone not involved with the event until the finish, which should be between 12:30 and 1 p.m. The month of May is also Older Americans Month, and this week, the Dennis Center for Active Living celebrated with a luncheon and career fair for workers of all ages. It was a lively event, and Cape Media News was there to cover the festivities. Take a look.
So today at the Dennis Center for Active Living, we are celebrating the launch of Older Americans Month. Every year, the Administration for Community Living celebrates the month of May as Older Americans Month, and they typically have a theme. This year, the theme is Aging Unbound. And there's so many ways that we're unbinding aging. People are working longer, driving longer, living longer.
It's very clear as I walked into this building that the town of Dennis approaches the age-friendly, dementia-friendly movement the way we at ARP have been preaching for many, many years, which is, frankly, to embrace aging.
I'm here representing ARP Massachusetts and also ARP nationally. I mean, we're in the place where the money for the grant that we gave, ARP National gave to the town of Dennis to support part of the age and dementia-friendly work, and these tables and the flowers and the benches are modest contribution to and a message to the town of Dennis.
But today is a celebration of that, the music, the flowers, it's spring. We just got recognized this last year for our efforts in making Dennis an age and dementia-friendly community. And that took, just being involved in everything with committees and surveying needs and what people feel they need and want to age in place and do it well and independently.
One of the reasons why we're here today is to send a message to those communities that have not yet taken up the challenge. This is not just policy, and it's not just a phase. We have been doing the age-friendly movement now. We call it a movement for it started in 2013. So we're talking 10 years. and we will continue to monitor, we will continue to support them. The grant is one way to do that, but like I say, there are technical assistance and online services and support that we provide for the town. But I want to end by making one other point. None of this would have happened if you didn't have the people in the room.
But to that third act, where instead of having it be like, if you want to play bingo, you be my guest. But there are options. There are other things to do. And so that's what we want to offer people, quality of life and quality of experience that they can have day to day in their community.
Coming up after the break, annual town meetings and more. Stay tuned. The Harwich Democratic and Republican Town Committees are co-sponsoring a local Harwich Candidates Forum for Select Board on Saturday, May 6th at 10 a.m. at the South Harwich Meeting House on Chatham Road. This event will be the first and only forum featuring all three candidates, Don Howell, Jeff Handler, and Pete Piekarski. Attendees will have the opportunity to ask questions before voting in the town election on Tuesday, May 16th. For more information, contact Raymond Gottwald at raygottwald@aol.com or visit the Harwich Democratic Town Committee's Facebook page. This week, the towns of Harwich and Dennis held their annual town meetings and both had their fair share of interesting debates. For more on this, here's Ryan Thompson.
Harwich gathered for their annual town meeting on May 1st and 2nd, 2023. Residents came together to discuss various topics ranging from the town's infrastructure to the environment. One of the notable topics that were discussed was the town's $250,000 grant to fund a preschool family support program that aims to help young families defray the cost of childcare.
See if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds, or borrow a sufficient sum of money to fund a preschool family support program for the 3- and 4-year-old population within the town of Harwich and to act fully thereon. The sum is $250,000.
It's to help 3- and 4-year-olds go to preschool. The idea behind the article is to help young families remain here in Harwich by being able to offer them some money to defray the cost of childcare, which is an extraordinary cost to families. This allows families not only the ability with help to pay those costs, but also may allow families to have a full-time position when maybe the mom or the dad has a part-time position. And then on top of that, allows younger people to stay in town, hopefully, gives a stable source of income, and we hope that maybe there'll be an increase in child care providers, because that's another problem we have here all over the Cape, and ultimately helps the town by having young families in town, helps our school system, helps our firefighters, our police, all of these things by being able to keep people local at a time where we're really struggling with that.
I would like people to consider the creation of this program, even though it seems like we don't have all of the details we might like. I spent an entire year working solely for dental bills and childcare bills. A full year of my salary, because childcare is so expensive. Thank goodness I have a partner who works. Thank goodness I had a local daycare provider here in Harwich so that I didn't have to go far away for my child. But it's really, really expensive. It is as much as a mortgage to pay for your child to go to preschool. I think this would help a lot of people, and it would help people want to stay in the community and might attract people to the community. To be able to start it and support it, I think would say a lot about our town and how we feel about young families.
Looks like you're ready for a vote. All those in favor of the motion as read, so signify by saying aye. And those opposed by saying no. The motion carries.
Another topic that was discussed and voted on was a ban on balloons in order to address concerns about the negative impact balloons have on the environment.
See if the town will vote to prohibit the sale, distribution, and use of any type of balloon inflated with any type of lighter-than-air gas within the town of Harwich. And this is by the petition of Mr. Patrick Otten.
So why am I worried about balloons? Just because the improper disposal of balloons and restraining attachments, often released to float and drift away, or not properly disposed, are a significant, well-documented hazard to wildlife and marine life. For those who feel that education is the solution, more effective than prohibiting balloons, Let me see your plan for educating all 12,000 Harwich residents, and more importantly, all 5 million summer vacationers who come here to play and party. Show me your plan, and I'll withdraw the article. Please, I encourage you to vote yes on this petition.
I commend Patrick for his love of the environment and his passion, but there's one ban I would vote for. It's banning the bans. It's America. I think we can make choices. I challenge Monomoy School District, their civic organization, their environmental organization to take this challenge on and move it and work with the state and come up with better pollution laws, better education laws, and not ban things in the town of Harwich. That's it.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion as read so signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed by saying no. No. I am going to take a standing count. Those in favor, 125. Those in opposition, 109. The bylaw carries.
The Harwich Annual Town Meeting provided a platform for the town's residents to voice their opinions and make important decisions affecting their community. With the approval of the ban on balloons and the grant to support childcare expenses, Harwich is taking steps to improve the town's quality of life and invest in the future of the community. The town of Dennis also held its annual town meeting this week with a total of 42 articles on the warrant. Of note, Article 34 proposed designating 63 acres of town-owned land at 187 Depot Street for affordable housing purposes. As with most affordable housing issues on Cape, the article received some pushback from residents.
To be able to pass on the rights to design that look and feel of Dennisport to some to be designated developer, I think is a error in judgment, poor planning on the part of town, and we lose the momentum and trajectory of developing our community in a way that we want to.
I also believe that we should vote against this at this point and postpone it indefinitely, primarily because this turns the property over to the select board, and the select board gets to do as they please, instead of the town having a vote to do so.
But not all residents were opposed to the article.
We have been postponing dealing with affordable housing for a very, very long time. And what this does, in simple terms, is an opportunity to look at a property that's owned by the town, make an assessment of it, professionally done in public forums, a variety of public forums that are required in order to do this. It does not turn it over to the select board.
I've been on the select board for 4 years. It might have been the first or second meeting I was at. We started talking about the VIC Hall property. So for those of you who want discussion on it, there's been 4 years plus talking about this property.
Those in favor of the main motion will indicate by saying aye. Those opposed by saying no. It is a vote by majority vote.
The last article, Article 42, proposed transferring $155,000 from the Landfill Solar Special Revenue Fund for the purpose of childcare subsidies for Dennis residents. While the Select Board was in favor of the article, the Finance Committee recommended indefinite postponement.
Although I am sympathetic to the issue, there are many other Dennis residents that have financial needs as well. We have many residents living on fixed incomes that earn far less than the $108,700, the amount a family could earn and qualify for this child care subsidy. There are no limits on their personal wealth, value of their homes and property, or even a check and balance on their ability to pay. We have residents with major health care issues and related costs that could use financial assistance as well. Under this child care subsidy, it will cost $35,000 to administer $120,000 in grants. That's 29%. To me, it seems very excessive.
This town is spending $12 million to renovate the senior center. If you can't spend $100,000 to help young families, you better think about your priorities for the future of this town.
These little folks that we're talking about providing care for are the folks that are going to grow up and make sure that our seniors are taken care of, and they're going to be an active part of this community. And my children are 8th generation Dennis residents. And as it stands right now, I don't know if they would be able to afford to live here. If it were not for the availability of subsidies for childcare, my kids would continue to live in poverty because it is so prohibitive to work when you have to pay a full-time daycare. It really is almost a mortgage or a rent payment or more than that for some folks.
I can't stress enough the importance of early childhood education. It has been proven time and time again that providing high-quality education for children before they turn 5 yields significant medium and long-term benefits for our students and their communities. James Heckman is the Henry Schultz Distinguished Service Professor of Economics and Director of the Center of Economics of Human Development at the University of Chicago, a Nobel laureate in economics and an expert in the economics of human development. His latest research, The Life Cycle Benefits of an Influential Early Childhood Program, shows that every dollar invested in a high-quality birth to 5 program for children can deliver a 13% per year return on investment.
Debate ends. Question now comes on the main motion related to Article 42. Those in favor of that motion will indicate by saying aye. Those opposed by saying no. It is a vote by majority vote.
For Cape Media News, I'm Ryan Thompson.
Coming up after the break, new federal housing finance agency regulations and what they mean for your mortgage interest rates. Stay tuned. Recent changes to mortgage regulations by the Biden administration have ignited a fierce debate within the real estate industry and among financial experts. Taking effect this past Monday, May 1st, the new Federal Housing Finance Agency rules aim to level the playing field for homebuyers with varying credit scores, promoting greater accessibility to mortgages and homeownership opportunities for underserved communities. However, critics claim that responsible homeowners and potential buyers with good credit are being unfairly penalized, sparking concerns about the long-term consequences of these changes. To learn more about these changes and to get a better understanding of what is going on, I sat down with real estate professional Charlotte Green to explain what's happening and whether or not we should be concerned. Starting off, what are the pricing adjustments that have been made starting this week?
So these were announced in January, and loan level pricing adjustments affect an interest rate that somebody pays. We all start out with the same base interest rate, and then we apply pricing adjustments, which are also referred to as risk-based pricing adjustments, to increase an interest rate or cause a borrower to pay points. So those were put in place in 2008. Like I said, these changes were announced in January. They're getting a lot of fanfare like never before. And what they're doing now, they're looking to redistribute these pricing adjustments a little bit more equitably across the board. So a lot of the narrative has been that now higher credit borrowers are going to be, paying a higher interest rate than a low credit borrower. Those high credit borrowers still are going to have lower pricing adjustments than low credit borrowers. We're just seeing that spread from top to bottom narrow a little bit more with these changes.
What are the primary reasons that they're making these changes?
The primary reasons for these changes are to make housing more equitable for lower and moderate income borrowers. There have been a lot of studies over recent years that credit score is not as strong of a factor in somebody's ability to repay and their overall risk profile. I don't think the FHFA is quite on board with that yet, but there's a lot of discussion around the industry. So what we're seeing now is a little bit more equitable application of pricing adjustments for people on the high end to the low end of the spectrum.
If you could, in elevator pitch 30 seconds or less to put people's minds at ease that they're not going to be taken advantage of, for being fiscally responsible.
The biggest takeaway I would hope that people are able to walk away with and understand to dispel a lot of these clickbaits and headlines that we scan by and digest is that high credit borrowers are still going to receive more competitive interest rates than low credit borrowers. What these changes do are make the spread between the pricing adjustments for low and high credit borrowers a little bit more equitable, but not to any significant extreme. We are going to continue to reward those who have made smart fiscal decisions, but also the FHFA needed to evaluate risk and where risk lies. So they found some of those pockets and they added in some additional costs for those borrowers with higher credit scores, while lowering those for borrowers with lower credit scores. But as we talked about in the beginning, we all start with the same base interest rate. And while let's say I have a 620 credit score, right? And I'm putting 3% down to buy a home. The pricing adjustments on my loan right now are going to be 1.5%, not equating directly to an interest rate adjustment. For you, you're going to be a 0.5% if you had a 740 credit score. So there's still a really healthy spread to account for taking the right steps with your credit. But this is a change that has been lobbied against by the industry because there are ongoing concerns about housing affordability. But unfortunately, I don't see them reversing these changes. And for most people buying houses, unless they are able to find a portfolio lender or if they're in what's called jumbo financing, so they're not buying homes within the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan limits, this will not affect them at all. Traditionally, borrowers with lower credit scores have borne a disproportionate burden in the loan level pricing adjustments that they're absorbing for their profile. These changes are now making it a little bit more equitable across the board so that we can lower the barrier to entry for homeownership.
Be sure to catch the full interview next week. And thank you for joining us this evening. If you have a story you'd like to see covered, send us an email at newstip@capemedia.org. Tune in next week for more hyperlocal news that matters on Channel 99, Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. For Cape Media News, I'm Mitch Sock.